Hey, everyone. This is John Hansman here with Truett. And here, Ryan, it's just you. Awesome, man. Okay, so we'll give a few minutes and we'll get started. I'll let some people join and we'll give it a few minutes here, just for a minute or two to get some more people in. This is also being streamed on all of the platforms as well, so it might take a few minutes for this to come online. So we'll give it a second here and see what's happening. Okay. Great. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thanks for joining today. My name's John Hansman, and I own Truett. We are a managed IT provider, cybersecurity provider. Today, we're going to talk about employee risk. And we're going to go through and we're going to specifically cover just some case study and just some things that we're seeing in the industry. And then answer some questions about how we can help just mitigate the risk that we see when it comes to cybersecurity attacks. Now, there's some of you could be interactive because you're here on the StreamYard feed. If you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, or one of those other ones, then you'll get a delayed response because I'll be looking through those comments after the meeting. But if you're here on StreamYard, you're going to you can reply directly. So if you signed up for the webinar, you should have had a link that'll get you right in here. And I know it's working because at least a few people have joined already. And so we're going to go ahead and get started so that we can just respect your time. So I'm going to talk a little bit about confronting cybersecurity risk. Okay. So the first question is, who knows someone who's had a cybersecurity attack recently? Do you know anyone who's been a victim of a cybersecurity breach? If you do, and you're on Facebook, social media, any of those things, go ahead and throw a comment in the page. Do you know somebody who's been a victim of a cybersecurity attack? Say ever, but in the last 6 months to a year. Do you know anybody who's been a victim? Okay, it looks to me like, yeah, we've got at least a couple. So if you have an example, go ahead and throw it in the chat here. If you're in the main room, go ahead and throw it in there. I know, Ryan, you're in there, so you can. I know you got one recently because you and I have talked. Who has had somebody that in the last year who's had a data breach or a cybersecurity attack, and just throw in a quick message on what it was. Okay. I know I've had a couple email compromises that have come to us recently from clients. We've seen those happening, or we know we had it was not recently, but we had a client who their accounts payable team paid out like $20,000 bill that was to the wrong person. So let me see here. Okay, we're going to talk next about what we're calling the silent killer. So the reality of where we're at in the cybersecurity world today is that we're seeing just a rampant jump in cybersecurity attacks. So here's some things to understand about where these attacks come from. So 94% of malware is delivered via email. So this means if you have 10 employees, an average of 90 emails threats per month come to your business. 1 in 323 of those emails that come to you are malicious. That's a staggering number? And when we look at like the customers that we're scanning their email, it's a lot. I know even within our own business, we're seeing a fair amount of businesses that are getting every day. And even in our business, I see my wife and I are always clicking on the spam button or the phishing button in Microsoft to make sure we tell a system that's actually something that's malicious. 77% of successful attacks use exploits or fileless techniques. This would be like emails that come to you and you click on a link and it takes you to fill out a form to get your password information. 80% of small, medium-sized business report new types of attacks have evaded their traditional solutions like antivirus. So this really tells us that just having antivirus is not enough. Just having antivirus does not solve the problem. We need to make sure that we're training employees and preparing them to evade or just know how to spot malicious emails. I think it's really important because we're finding that antivirus doesn't solve issues when everything's online or when it's a form online. Antivirus does not help solve those problems. It doesn't help employee mistakes. And we've talked about this before, if you've been around me for any length of time, that 61% of attacks use employee credentials. I think this is in 2021. I think this number's higher at this point. You think about MGM was attacked credentials, and that was a $7 million a day event. 94% of attacks are delivered by email. On average, it takes 120 days to discover a data breach. So that means that bad actors can be cyber criminals can be in your system for over 120 days before you even notice them. 58% of attacks are small businesses. 60% of small businesses go under within 6 months of having an attack. And interestingly, which is the most bizarre one to me, 26% of organizations that suffer a breach don't do anything to prevent it. So here's the question. When employees mess up, how much will it cost you? The impacts on financial organizations can be things like unauthorized transactions, ransom payments. Data breaches can include exposure of sensitive company information and customer data, reputation damage. So say like you're a small town dental office who had a data breach, and now the town, it gets around in the town and they don't trust you anymore. Operational disruption, downtime, loss of productivity, loss of income. Again, MGM, $7 million a day they were losing because of their ransomware attack. They were down for 10 days. So you do the math, and they lost a lot of money in 10 days. I mean, just a staggering amount of money because they couldn't run their business. They could not check people into the hotel. The casinos, was pretty much shut down for the most part because of it. Okay, so we're going to just take this example, and we're going to talk about this hometown health crisis. And what this is this company called having a little bit of a hard time there. Give me a second here. I was clicking on the wrong button here. So Hometown Health is a company that was established in 2005. They're serving the community for over 18 years. They recently invested. Now, this is a case study. So this is us talking about a business that that we looked at facts and we created to show the impact of a cybersecurity attack. So this company invested $50,000 in digital systems to improve their patient experience. They bought new computers, a new server, but they weren't really doing anything to protect themselves. They have they spent $18,000 on a patient portal in 2018. And the whole purpose of that was to allow them to do online appointments and for customers to be able to look at their medical records. Monthly recurring revenue, they were making $280,000. And they were a testament to it as it's a trusted service. The $280,000 was their monthly revenue. Okay, so here's what happened to them. On June 15th of 2023, the employee from the accounting clicked on a phishing email. The computer screen with the ransomware alert, so basically their computer slowed down, and the calendar marking the date of the attack, marking at the attack date. So the ransomware demand was $20,000 in cryptocurrency. The daily revenue, they were losing because they had to shut down their business. They were losing $9,000 a day, impacting the operations of the staff and salary. So this is the thing to think about. How much money would you lose if your business lost whatever that is, whatever your daily amount is, and you had to be shut down for 10 to 15 days? So their MRR impact was about $90,000. And because they had just done a lot of investing, as you saw earlier, this really threatened their financial stability because everything was locked up in that recent purchase of updating their tools. So one of the things that we've seen when these type of things happen. So in this case, 30% drop in patient visits the week following the attack. So after they were back up, people stopped coming because they were concerned about their data. Local news coverage amplified the situation, causing panic among patients. Potential legal concerns from the community with two families considering lawsuits. So these are kind of like real things that can happen to the business when these type of attacks happen. Limited IT resources with only one part-time IT staff member was one of their concerns. So they didn't have the resources to even deal with this cyber attack. The medical staff struggled with manual record keeping while their systems were down. And it led to them taking longer and having really long patient wait times. Management, had to hold a meeting to decide on whether they should pay the ransom or seek external help. So how do you regain control when something like this happens? So they decided not to pay the ransom, but they hired a local IT expert. This number may be even low, but it cost them $15,000 to restore and enhance their security over that week. Then they had to spend another $2,000 on local ads and social media updates just to make sure that their clients and potential clients knew that they were handling the situation. They also had to spend money on a helpline for patient queries, and they had to staff 2 extra members just to handle all those issues. So the aftermath, total crisis cost $120,000 in inclusive unforeseen expenses, legal fees, IT interruptions. They struggled to regain its previous MRR, facing 30% decline. Several long-term patients switched to other clinics, citing concerns over data privacy. Conclusions, when you think about this, cybersecurity breaches have severe and lasting impacts on small business. The clinic's reputation suffers significantly. And this is just talking about the critical importance of having a proactive security measures, like not having just a part-time guy doing your IT if you're a big medical facility. This experience really talks about how local businesses have local vulnerabilities on their digital systems, and they're not paying attention to them potentially. So I want to talk about some of the different ways that people are, we see attacks. So we have email. So email compromises. So these are generally unauthorized access, control over an email account, or often malicious. So this is when we talked earlier about somebody being in your system for 120 days. It happens on servers, it happens on networks, but a lot of times it's email, where somebody hacked credentials and they're sitting in and watching email come and go, and they're basically building out a plan for how they're going to build a plan to send out emails to try to trick your customers, or trick patients, or whatever it might be. And they'll actually create targeted social campaigns that are really good to trick people. Employees are often the primary targets due to their access to sensitive information. Common mistakes is clicking on suspicious links, or they're links that they maybe don't realize or should be suspicious. Opening unverified attachments, sharing passwords or sensitive info, not updating not updating passwords, or they're just using weak ones, not using two-factor, which I don't have listed. But you think about this, all of these things cause financial loss, data breaches, damaged reputation. So how do we prevent those things? We use security awareness training to help our employees spot emails that they should be aware of, so they're not clicking on those links, they're not opening attachments they shouldn't. We're using multi-factor authentication to make sure that if one of your emails is compromised, there's a second way that they have to get into the system. We do regular backups, and we do advanced email filtering to try to get rid of any of the extra stuff that gets lost or any of the extra emails that would come to a mailbox and get clicked on. So we try to find those before they even get, and stop them before they even get to the mailbox. So password stealing virus is another one that we're seeing. So it's a type of malware illicitly to obtain passwords. So this can actually come from just having someone in your system or clicking on one of those links, and then it takes all your Google passwords or your passwords out of your browser and steals them and then sends them to a server. And this is something that really can just be prevented just by not opening links that or clicking on detachments. And we want to make sure that like your employees are reporting suspicious activities and avoiding downloading unverified files. And that's one of the biggest things that these password stealing viruses are generally because somebody let them into the system, and they actually gave access either by clicking on a link or downloading something. Okay, so the question we'd have is, does your company have good password hygiene? So security risk, increasing vulnerabilities to hacking attempts, higher chances of identity theft, unauthorized access to personal financial information. These are like the things that bad password hygiene can cause. Loss of personal and sensitive data, financial losses due to fraud, damage to personal reputation. Common mistakes is that people use passwords that are really guessable. I have a really bad example, password 123, or a jewelry store that uses like diamond or they use, some companies use their own name. Like there's just a lot of things or the word admin, password for an admin account. All of these things are really bad things that if someone gets into your systems, they can get whatever they want. And you don't want that. So you want to make sure that you have good password hygiene and that you are ensuring that that people are using passwords properly, and they're actually making sure that they're actually using complicated passwords. We recommend a password manager to help keep your passwords separate, so you're using a different one on each account. So we're seeing a lot more of these as AI created attacks. It's adding complexity to protecting your business. Now, here's one of the things I'll say about this. We used to spot, and it still works a little bit because I still see it, But we're seeing that scammers, hackers, just basically cyber criminals who don't speak good English are using AI to craft emails that look like they are more legit because they have better spelling than what the hacker can do. So we're seeing phishing emails that are using AI generated content. And so employees might be tricked by clicking on malicious links or downloading because the AI can create such real content and such real things that it's hard to spot. Deep fakes in communications. This is one that we've been hearing a little bit about. I don't know how much we're seeing, but it's a conversation. Is people are can now use AI to create realistic video and audio impersonating colleagues or superiors. So this is something where you get a phone call from a number you don't recognize, and it says, "Hey, this is Jeff, the CEO, and hey, can you go buy some gift cards or can you make a payment to this account? Here's the account number." Calling to the accounts payable person. We're seeing AI-powered social engineering, and we're seeing automated malware creation. So we're seeing AI being used to create malware, and they're using it to create stuff so new that it's hard for traditional malware protection to keep up. And so the good news is that a lot of the bigger security companies are using AI to create prevention, but the types of malware that we're seeing are changing rapidly because of AI having the ability to create that stuff. So here's what we recommend when we're talking about prevention. So we want to be doing really these 6 things. So we want to make sure we have employee training, regular awareness sessions. This can be through, like we do email campaigns. We do campaigns where our staff and our customers get a weekly email, and then they have a yearly training that's longer that they do. Regular backups ensure data can be restored in the case of ransomware attacks. And we should avoid clicking on suspicious links, downloading unknown attachments, and that should be a policy within your company. You don't know who it is, you don't know where it came from, you don't click on it. Multi-factor authentication. One of the things that's changed in a multi-factor since I did this presentation last, this came up at a cybersecurity conference that I was at. We should make sure that we're actually doing it through an application, not through your phone SMS. So we've seen some recent cases where people's phone chip, their card has been compromised, their SIM card, and then the cyber criminal can actually do SMS 2-factor and still break into your account. So our suggestion is use an app. There's a lot of good ones out there. Google Authenticate, Microsoft has one. There's Authy. Using an app is better than SMS, and that's one of the new changes. We recommend doing email filtering. So use advanced email filtering solutions that are AI driven to just, and Ryan said that Duo has been great as well. Use advanced email filtering solutions to block malicious emails. So we want to make sure that we are using tools just to keep those emails from even getting to our employees. Like we want to make sure that we have something just in between the world and them, so that if somebody sends it, those AI tools can basically just get in front of any emails that would normally come in. And then we advise using advanced security tools that can detect AI generated threats or behavior monitoring. So there's a difference between old antivirus that kind of just looks at a database and kind of compares files to files, and new behavior generated. So it's AI driven, and it actually looks at the behavior of the computer and says, well, this behavior is not normal. So this is something that's not right. So we need to alert somebody, stop it, it could just depend on what it is. And with ours, it goes to a security team, but doing something that actually looks at behavior is more reliable today because of how fast things are changing than just having traditional antivirus that looks at a database and compares and then blocks just the file type or the file name or whatever. So here's how Truett is all, here's how we take care of our clients. We have a comprehensive cybersecurity plan with everything that we do. So we do backups, business reviews, staff education, consulting, cybersecurity, monitoring, and help desk support. You can see all the little things that we do for each category, all within the services that we provide. And this is what comes with every one of our services. So one of the things about us, we don't do just gold, silver, platinum packages. We really do comprehensive. We fit the policy or the plan to your specific company based on what your needs are. Do you collect a lot of personal information? It's going to be different from somebody who maybe has a retail shop that just has everything on the internet. And we really base that plan on what your business really needs and provide you all the bare minimums depending on the level of service that you need based on your business. And we help you figure out that. Being that we've been in this space a while and we can tell you what is it your business needs to keep your business protected. Okay, so what we would do is, if this is something that you want to talk more about, we recommend we do a cybersecurity strategy session. We also recommend that every business gets a cybersecurity risk assessment. And in that, we present our findings, and then we can give you what the best course of action is for your next steps. So part of working with Truett is, we want to be partners with everyone that we do business with. This means that we sit and help businesses grow. We act as just a strategic partner for decision-making for IT. And we do constant monitoring of all of our systems and our customer systems. So that's their switches, their servers, their computers, all the security measures. So we deploy top-tier IT tools. Like we deploy quite a bit of tools specifically for IT and cybersecurity, and we're doing more and different ones than most other companies, because we firmly believe that just having antivirus and tech support isn't enough anymore, and you really have to have a comprehensive cybersecurity plan. That involves policy writing, that involves training, that involves a lot more than just having an antivirus and somebody to respond. So if you have an interest in just talking more, you can go to cybersecuritystrategysession.com, and you can actually book a direct call with me. This is where we'll actually sit down, and you'll get a free session, and we'll sit down and talk about your business and just give you just an idea of where your business sits, just in a little conversation, and then try to figure out if there's a next step for you to protect your business. Like, what are you missing, and kind of help you fill in the blanks. Also, if you reference this particular webinar that you saw, that you've been a part of, we'll give you $500 off your cybersecurity risk assessment when you sign up. So if you see this, mention that you saw this, and I'll work this out with you, and we'll give you $500 off your cybersecurity risk assessment. So with that, we went a little quick today, but again, if you're interested, let's go ahead and go to cybersecurity-strategysession.com, and we will hopefully talk to you soon. We'll be doing this webinar again next month as well. So if you know anybody who could use this information, definitely let us know. If you have questions, leave a comment on any of the social media platforms you see this on, and we'll see you soon.